Hi there, my name is Misha, I'm a Microsoft MVP, and today we're going to take a look at the CKS certification, the Certified Kubernetes Security Specialist. By the end of this video, you will learn which materials you need to prepare, how to prepare, what to expect from the exam, and also how to get help when you get stuck. So let's dive into it. I took this exam 2 weeks ago, and it was a really tough one. And I have several years of Kubernetes experience now, and still it was really, really tough. So just to preface this, that it is a tough exam to get. It has literally been one of my life's goals to get this one. But when you get it, you do get a really good understanding of container security and securing Kubernetes clusters. Like that's literally what the exam is about. But it does that really well. It does force you to learn these things. So let's just read a bit what the certification entails. So the CKS is a performance-based certification exam that tests the candidate's knowledge of Kubernetes and cloud security in a simulated real-world environment. So this means that it is performance-based, just like the CKA. You get an environment with 12 questions that you need to solve within 2 hours. So you really need to perform under time pressure. And the candidates must have taken and passed the CKA exam. So you must have the CKA active in order to be able to take this exam. So that's one important thing to note. And it demonstrates that the candidate possesses the requisite abilities to secure container-based applications and Kubernetes platforms during build, deployment, and runtime, and is qualified to perform these tasks in a professional setting. So it really goes out and says here that if you're able to pass this exam, you are ready to work with Kubernetes clusters in production. Like if I would get a candidate and he has a home lab and he has this exam, then I would have no doubts about letting him do production upgrades and things like that, because it is a tough one. You need to know your stuff for this exam. But that's good. That's what these exams are for. And it demonstrates a broad range of best practices for securing container-based applications and Kubernetes platforms. So it is, and like not just like regardless of the certification, doing this one, doing the path and getting the certification has been extremely valuable for my own understanding in my daily work. And I feel like I understand it much better now these days, now that I have this under my belt. So the certification and requirements, we just went through those basically. The passing score is 67%. So that is, it is quite, you need to have the majority of the questions properly answered. Now, for the materials, there is a 11-hour YouTube course from the creator of Killer Coda. This is it. The link will be down below in the description. This used to be a paid Udemy course, but he recently released it for free on YouTube. So thank you very much, Kim, for that. And yeah, it is an 11-hour course. It is very well structured. It is a bit low quality on the video and the audio, but the actual content is great. He does a great job of explaining things, and he really goes out of his way to visualize things. And this course is all you need, and it's completely for free. Now, this course also refers to Killer Coda, and you have very likely used this when you did your CKA, because I'm assuming you already did your CKA when you're looking at this video. But if you need to refresh your memory, this is just the CKS section of the Killer Coda, and it has all of these little scenarios that you do, and you click on it, and then you get an environment. And I haven't signed in yet even. Wow, let's see if it. Yeah, here we go. So here you will see you get a bit of an environment and some questions, and then you solve them, and then it's really good for practice, for daily practice. So as you see, I have solved all of these scenarios to do my preparation. So if you're going through the course, he is going to refer to the Killer Coda scenarios, and he will tell you which ones to solve. So that is a very nice structured way of doing it. Next, I highly suggest you find some sort of community to help you with your studies. I run a school community. This is my premium school community. We have about 146 members in here. And here we all gather, and we even have a separate certification board here where people are taking these exams, sharing tips, and asking questions when they get stuck. And this has been really valuable for me, not only to ask questions when I got stuck, because we have some very, very, very senior people in our group here, but that already have these exams, including me now, but also to get some motivation. Like if you feel stuck, or if you are struggling to motivate yourself, or to put in another 2 hours when you're really tired, you really can get help with from a community like this. And I also have a free community which you can join completely for free. And here there's already some like-minded individuals you can connect with. But if you want to prepare for the exam, there are also courses here that you can consider taking that will definitely increase your productivity while studying, because you will learn to take notes. But also my Kubernetes fundamentals course is going to teach you all of these tricks that you need to know when you are taking the exam. Because if you already have your CKA, then you know the Kubernetes fundamentals. But this course definitely, my course really goes deep into like how to use tmux, how to become efficient with Vim, and how to generate YAML files quickly, and how to search up information from kubectl quickly as you are doing the exam. Because let me tell you, this exam is a tough one. I have several years of Kubernetes experience now, and I wasn't able to solve 3 questions because I literally didn't have time. And I am fast in the terminal. I am fast. I can, like, tmux is not, it's just like an direct extension of my brain these days. I don't have to think about how do I split a window. I can split windows and put them wherever I want with the correct breadth without thinking about it. And I live and breathe kubectl. I can look up information extremely quickly from the kubectl help right there in the terminal with grepping. So I was not losing time on that stuff. But the questions are just so big, so there's just so much to solve that you will run out of time. And all the time you can save by becoming better and becoming blazing fast in the terminal, that is all going to be of your benefit. And my Kubernetes fundamentals course is definitely going to help you with that. So not only my courses, but also this community aspect of asking questions and motivation is extremely useful if you're preparing for these exams. Now, I also took a lot of notes that I have published on my public Zettelkasten here, zettelkasten.mishavandenberg.net/CKS. And here there are just some notes that I took, and these can be interesting for you to go through, just to show you, like, these are all the things that I didn't know properly yet, and that I figured I needed to take notes on in order to facilitate my own understanding. These are all publicly available, and you can read through them to get an impression of, oh, these things he didn't know, interestingly, after several years of Kubernetes experience. So there can be a bit of an insight there too. And then finally, there is Killer SH. So when you sign up for the exam, when you go here and then you enroll and you purchase it, then you get 2 rounds. Oh, I'm spawning balloons in my thing here. But you get 2 rounds of Killer SH, and this is just an exam environment that is almost the same as the real exam. The environment itself is identical, just the questions are a bit different. It is intentionally harder than the actual exam, but I found that the exam was just as hard as the Killer SH, if not harder. I was able to, I did 1 whole weekend of Killer SH. I did that for 36 hours. I was just looping and looping and looping through it. And by the end of that, I was able to solve all of the 20 questions within the 2-hour limit. And the 2-hour limit is intentional, I did for myself. And the real exam has 12 questions. So there's fewer questions. I was able to solve all of them within the 2-hour time limit. But on the actual exam, I had fewer questions and I was not able to solve 3 of them. So I had less questions, but still I didn't manage. So yes, it is a great indication of the exam, but not necessarily a guarantee. So this exam involves a lot of practice. Like I was going off on just now, you will need to be blazing fast in a terminal. Tmux, Vim, kubectl. Like you need to be able to create a new window, create role binding, and get the help for that, and then grab for the namespace. Because you need to be able to get this example very quickly and see, okay, I need to create role binding, and then I need to provide a name, and then I need to provide the cluster role. Like this is the tempo that you need to be able to do without thinking about it, without stumbling. If you're stumbling, if you're thinking, how do I create a role binding again in kubectl? Forget it. So just a word of warning. So that you need to practice that, but also there are a lot of points you can score with getting fast and good at these 2 topics: network policies and role-based access control. There will be a lot of questions about creating network policies and limiting the access within namespace from different namespaces and such like. And there are going to be a lot of questions about role-based access control. Incidentally, those were also my 2 weakest points prior to preparing for this exam. So it has been really great practice for me. But I got this tip from a senior expert friend of mine who recently took the exam. And he said, focus on these 2 because those will score you a lot of points. And what I mean by focus is focus on daily practice. So what I did, I spent about a month preparing for this exam. Probably about 2 hours a day, not every day, almost every day. And I figure it was about 80 hours of preparation with my experience level of several years of managing Kubernetes clusters in production. And I would do about an hour and a half of course and killer quota scenarios. And every day I would do a few scenarios of network policies or role-based access control on killer coda. So they're all sorted by topic. So you can search here for network. Like here you will see network policy, create default deny, network policy metadata. So I would do these, but also killer coda has several other things. So there's the CKA scenarios, and here there are also going to be network policy scenarios. So I would go through all of these and do them, and also practice them on my own home lab. Like at the point when you are taking this type of exam, you will want to have a Kubernetes home lab at home. Like that's almost like in terms of professional dedication, that is what I would expect of a Kubernetes engineer that is at this performing on this kind of level. And you need to have a place where you can practice and where you can try out these things and think of scenarios for yourself. And a home lab is the perfect place for that. And it can just be run your desktop on your machine that you run, but you need to have a place where you can practice with these scenarios for yourself. Because one thing is to go through these scenarios, but you'll learn much more if you on your own home lab think, I have this namespace. What if I only want the database pods to be able to connect to that namespace, but they should exclude the pods with that label? Like those kinds of little scenarios you can think for yourself, and those are going to be very beneficial in your preparation. So a few words about the exam. It is the same environment as the CKA. So as we saw, the CKA is a requirement for this exam, so you will know how that feels like. It is the same environment, the same shitty environment, I should say, with the lag, with the few documentation available, but it is doable. But again, like I have stressed before, there's huge time pressure. You need to know your stuff. You need to be fast in the terminal. Trust me. But don't be discouraged by that, because there is lenient scoring. So I passed with 75% or something like that, and I didn't solve 3 full questions. I wasn't able to get to those questions because I was losing time. So even with those 3 full questions not answered, and I probably made some mistakes on the other ones, I think it's still quite lenient on the scoring. I was able to pass. So if you manage to solve most questions correctly, you will pass. So don't sweat it if you didn't manage to solve a few questions after you finished. And also, like, be mentally prepared that you're not going to finish some questions. And this can help you. Like, for example, you have to know Falco policies. Well, I know that those were always taking me quite a bit of time to solve. So I saved that question for last because I knew I was going to use a lot of time on it anyway. So I might as well solve the other questions first so that I had a better chance of solving the rest. And it turned out that in the end, yes, I was not able to even reach that question. So I was happy I saved that one because I knew that was going to be a problem for me. So have that expectation that you're not going to solve all of them. You're likely to skip a few of them and not get back to them, and use that in your selection process. So a few must-knows that did not necessarily come across from the course or from the Killer Coda. So you need to be able to do an audit policy from scratch. So you will get a cluster with a Kube API server, and there's not going to be an audit policy at all. And you need to be able to configure the Kube API server, all of the configuration that's needed to set up a policy for it, to make it look to the right files. And you need to be able to copy the logs from the log to a certain file with a certain selection. So definitely focus on these scenarios and make sure that you know how to do this. I think this one got me a lot of points. One thing that did not come across in the courses and in the Killer Coda, but which came in my exam, was passing parameters to the kubelet through a systemd unit file. Now, this is not a problem for me to solve if I'm in my own comfortable environment and if I have a bit of time to look it up again, because I've done it before. But in that stressful situation on the exam and not having seen this at any point during the courses, I was like, oh, damn, I don't know this from the top of my head. I'm skipping this question. And lo and behold, I wasn't able to return to it in the end. So this can be a useful one to figure out beforehand. Know how to do this. This is just a little pro tip, insider tip. Know this, and then you'll get some extra points. And one example from a network policy that I had to create was you need to enable traffic from all namespaces with a label hello world. So not all pods from all namespaces. No, you need to only allow pods that have the label hello world, or whatever the label was, from all namespaces. And this one had me doubting, because this one did not come up in the Killer Coda. And of course, there is the namespace selector that you need. Like, there is the there is the namespace selector, and you will have to select all of the namespaces like that. I think it was like that. And I was doubting about that, but that's like I did something different, and then later I came back to it, and then I deleted it, and then I don't even know if I had it correct in the end. But that one threw me off because it didn't come up. It was mostly like from one namespace or in the same namespace that I had practiced, but not from all namespaces with the label. So that's another tip that I can give you. So finally, here are all the links that that I've provided. These will all be in the video description. And that was all I had prepared for you today. So in short, do this course, solve all of the scenarios, practice your network policies and role-based access control every day. Get that down so that you don't have to think about what it means to create a service account, what it means to create a role and do a role binding on cluster scope or on namespace scope. And then you will be good to go. So yeah, if you're looking to get some more support on this, like you can ask questions to me directly or the entire community of fellow learners and students and experts in the field, consider joining my school community. Thank you so much for watching. Good luck on your exam. Let me know how it went and let me know if this video has been of any value to you. Like and subscribe and hope to see you in the next video. Have a good day.